You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
Rita, go to Joe Concha.
All right, let's go to Joe Concha with Fox News, the great media and political columnist, also best-selling author. Joe, do you think, by the way, she's got a debate? We've just been talking about sort of the empty pantsuit.
She'll debate. Yeah, I don't see how you back out at this point because, you know, may look like a coward. Oh, that's right. She already is a coward, or at least her handlers are cowards, because it's been now 36 days since Joe Biden dropped out. She became the nominee in essence. And the fact that they wouldn't even put her, Rita, Katz, in front of The View, in front of Joy Behar, in front of Rachel Maddow, in front of Gayle King, in front of Abby Phillip, all these pretend journalists, that they won't even put her out there to talk to those people where, you know, put the massage oil aside for a second. Those would be the easiest interviews. It wouldn't be softball. It would be T-ball if you put a beach ball on the tee. And yet they have so little confidence in her ability to speak extemporaneously in any way, shape, or form that they won't put her out there even for those interviews. What does that tell you? It tells you she has no coherent message. She can't explain why she wants to. And Katz, I mean, you know about this more than anybody else. The profit margins for supermarkets are what, 1-2% as far as, you know, what they make in terms of profit margin. She says she wants to do price fixing on food costs. Let's hear her try to explain remotely what that would sound like or how she would do that. She can't explain it because she doesn't understand even what's being proposed.
Well, she's calling it price gouging. Remember, gauging. Remember, she changed the word.
Of course.
Joe, here's Judge Weinberg.
Joe, let me ask you this question. Isn't this just a continuation of the no substance Democrat convention where there's no policy? You have no idea what you're voting for. Isn't it a fact that she's a cipher and so they project whatever you want and your values onto her because she's not making any enemies? And every time she says something stupid like price gouging or, you know, gauging or national rent controls or, you know, she's walking away from her record. And they're hiding her again, which is just a continuation of the convention. What are your thoughts?
$25,000 for every new homeowner will be given to you by the government because apparently no one was alive in 2008 when that crashed the economy, when you did just that thing. Yeah, John, that's the whole thing. They want to make her the Ron Burgundy of candidates, where she's only in teleprompter. What you give her in teleprompter, she will read. But otherwise, I'll put it this way. On night one of the convention, Donald Trump's name was said 160 times by speakers, okay? Nights 2 and 3, 154 times. Night 4, Kamala Harris's address alone, 15 times she tries to hit Trump. The one word she did not say throughout her entire speech, nearly 40 minutes, inflation. Not once does she bring this up. So I think they could get away with no policy and joy and memes and all that stuff. Donald Trump on that debate stage on the 10th, and Rita, to answer your question, I think that will happen. I don't see how they could possibly back out at this point, either one. He needs to hit her on everything, on fracking. You were 100% for it. You were 100% for fossil fuels. You were 100% for...
That's great, Joe, but I don't think they're going to allow him to talk.
Right, if it's a fair fight is your point. It's not going to be.
No, well, you know, we thought that about CNN, and that actually ended up being kind of fair. I think there'll be so much pressure because so many people will be watching that they at least have to try to look objective, that maybe we get the same result. But in the end, if I'm Donald Trump and I get a question and it's about climate change or something, I pivot, I get the hell out of there. I give my answer on, let's say, immigration, for example. He could do it in 20 seconds and say, I yield my time to Kamala Harris. I want to hear why border walls don't work. I want to hear why sanctuary cities are good things. I want to hear why Remain in Mexico is not a good policy. Kamala, the floor is yours, and I want to hear her from there without a teleprompter explain her positions because she's the weather vane candidate. She has no idea what they are. She's just told what to say. It's going to go badly if Donald Trump handles it that way, guys.
Peter King.
Yeah, Joe, this is Pete King. First of all, great job, as always. How you been?
Good, man.
Let me ask you, if she's an empty vessel, who is giving the information? Who's going to put the words on the teleprompter for her to read? Who would be preparing the executive orders for her to sign as president?
Oh, boy. I don't know. Mark Cuban? I mean, what are you talking about here? It could be anybody, Pete. It doesn't really matter at this point. The point is that it's somebody who is not elected, doesn't have to answer to anybody, I guess.
That's what I mean. It is scary.
Kamala
Yeah.
Harris.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Soviet stuff. I'm sorry. I mean, we will not take questions. We will not give our policy positions. Just vote for us and you will be happy. I mean, I would hope there's not enough dumb people out there that actually buy this, but I think she's peaked, Pete. I really do. I think she hit her high mark, which is around 47% nationally, and in those swing states, in the end, I can't see a steel worker voting for Kamala Harris. I can't see an auto worker in Michigan voting for Kamala Harris. I can't see anybody in Arizona voting for Kamala Harris, given that she was the border czar and literally said that we should abolish ICE and that illegal border crossing should be legal. I can't see it in the end. I think she loses the states that matter. I think Donald Trump's your 47th president.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Joe Concha, very much. We appreciate it, Joe.
And let's
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Joe.